Please welcome Monica Cox.
It's like that there's music. It's so funny. As I was getting dressed this morning, I'm just like, I think I want a theme song in this dress. So thank you. Just one of those little things you're not supposed to say out loud, but there you go. Good morning. I'm a little fired up. So it is 2018. Yes. And while, I know some bad things happened in 2017, I'm happy to have made it. So in that regard, it was an amazing year. Do you know what I mean? In addition to that, I'm not a big caffeine drinker, and I had a Red Bull, so just bear with me. I couldn't go to sleep last night because today is like Christmas. Some of you know this is my favorite thing to do, is to talk about some of the things I'm going to talk about this morning. So welcome. Welcome again to A Maven's World Annual Women's Brunch and Conference. Yes, this year's theme is a year of action, and it is so apropos as I have been stoking the fire in 2017, readying myself to take action in 2018. I'm delighted to provide today's opening remarks and to participate in really the setting of the tone of this amazing day that you're about to have. I'd just like to take a few minutes to talk to you before we introduce you to your morning keynote speaker, the amazing counselor Ayanna Presley. Yes, indeed. I want to mention 3 things to consider for your year of action. 1, get out of your head. 2, get back to your plan. And 3, get on with your vision. So you can get into your year of action. No matter where you are in life right now, how many of you want more? Okay, absolutely. I suspect that because you're here, so congratulations. In order to do that, you must get out of your head, you must get back to your plan, and you must get on with your vision. Say it with me. Get out of my head.
Get out of my head.
Get back to my plan.
Get back to my plan.
Get on with my vision.
Get on with my vision.
How many of you have thought to yourself, how many of you have thought yourself out of doing something you really wanted to do or procrastinated so long that the opportunity passed you by? Okay. I have certainly had these experiences, and you know what? I just got tired of it. I got tired of being stuck. I got tired of not doing. It was time to take action. But first, I had to get out of my head. Do you know that 85% of our thoughts are negative? That means that for every time we're feeling confident and ready to act, there are approximately 5.5 negative thoughts that try to shut us down. Mental chatter looks something like this. Maybe after listening to a speaker, you think, wow, she's done so much, I'm gonna get going. Positive thought, right? But then that's quickly followed by, what the heck is taking me so long? 1, to get my act together. If I'd only started earlier, I'd be so much further along. 2, if I'd only started, I bet she didn't procrastinate like I did. 3, if only I had more time. 4, if only I had more money. 5, I wish. 5.5 negative thoughts follow that 1 positive thought. But in order to act, to move, to grow, to achieve, we must start with getting out of our head. We have to change the channel on our mental chatter. How do we do that? Well, the first thing is to literally change your mental chatter channel. Have you ever been scrolling through the television and you accidentally happen upon something that is horrific or gross or scary? What do? And then you change the channel quickly. You don't want to watch that anymore. Well, when you accidentally stumble upon negative thoughts and a negative mental chatter channel, you need to change it. How many people know what's going to happen in the next 5 seconds? Anybody? Yeah, me either. The reality is that most of our thoughts are just us borrowing worry from the future. And since we don't know what's going to happen, why are we choosing to tell ourselves the negative story? If I don't know the outcomes anyway, then why not tell myself the better story and have higher expectations of the next moment? The ultimate goal is to have no expectations, but until then, why don't we expect better? In order to take action, get out of your head. Please repeat after me. Get out of my head.
Get out of my head.
I can imagine that you've made plans, created visions, and conjured up grand life schemes. I can imagine that some of those things have come to fruition and others have not. Am I right?
Yes.
Plans are necessary. They are. They help us understand the direction in which we need to head, although they don't necessarily tell us how we'll get there. When creating our master plan, one thing we want to ensure is that the journey to activating that plan is value aligned. Unfortunately, many of us are unaware of what our core values actually are. When asked, most people say things like God, family, work, in that order. Although if you take a look at their lives, maybe not necessarily, but okay, we'll go with that. But I'm more speaking of your personal process, the filter that you use to make decisions and to process information. Here's what happens. We're born, and the second that happens, there are expectations that are placed upon us. We must sleep a certain number of hours, read by a certain time, have manners, be good, whatever that means. And the list goes on. These expectations continue throughout our entire lives. When I attended my son's kindergarten graduation, the children were asked as they crossed the stage, what do you want to be when you grow up? And the first and second child answered teacher and firefighter respectively, and they were met with a modest applause. And then the third child got up and they asked that child, well, sweetheart, what would you like to be when you grow up? He said, I'd like to be a doctor, and the room erupted with applause. Why? Why do we do that? Why do others' expectations even bother us? From the beginning, we are taught what to value. So the next time the teacher or the firefighter is asked what they want to be, what do you think they will say? They will abandon their true pathway in order to get the applause of society. Why do others' expectations bother us or otherwise interrupt our plans? Because of societal labels. When we become doctors, lawyers, stockbrokers, when we go to Ivy League schools, when we have high-ranking titles, when we're thin, when we live in certain neighborhoods, when we look successful, we get the good societal labels. And they feel amazing. These are labels like smart, successful, popular, jet setter, insightful, creative, attractive, etc. These labels become the goal, and thus we abandon our core values in order to achieve them. In this place, we lose sight of the pathway to our plans. In order to get back on track with our plan to achieve the vision, we must become clear on our values. We identify them, define them, and live by them. Then we let the labels fall where they may. One person may call me confident, another may call me cocky. The difference is the person's values, which is also their personal filter. I have no control over your filter, so why not be me anyway? Don't abandon your values in pursuit of labels. Get back to your value-aligned plan. Repeat after me, get back to my plan.
Get back to my plan.
When I was a young person, I had a vision of being high-powered. What does that even mean? Wearing nice suits, having cool people around me, and being a mover and a shaker. Whatever that means. I had no idea how I was going to achieve this, but I did have vision. No one ever really talked to me about what it meant to create a vision and what it meant and how to do it. Like many, I was observing the good things around me and just adding them to my vision. I don't know, they seem like good things to add. Looking back on it, so much was missing from my process to creating a vision, namely the why and the how. Why did I want the vision I created, and how was I going to achieve it? Think about that for a second. We hear visions like, I want to own a catering business that does high-end events. I want to live in a house of this size with this many bedrooms. Some will go so far as to envision the career that they want their significant other to have. I want him or her to be a doctor, an athlete, a lawyer. I believe we establish these visions based on those external expectations that I mentioned earlier that garner the good labels with no regard for why we want it, other than money and success. Then there is the how. Sure, we believe that we have to go to school, develop a skill set, get a degree, or otherwise educate ourselves. We have to be in the right places to get to know the right people. However, the question we don't often consider is, how will we operate when we are in these places? How far will we go to get to know these people? If we don't have our values intact, we don't know. I know I had not considered that. I hadn't considered that my value of connectedness wouldn't vibe with people who were more into exclusivity. I didn't know that my value of creativity wouldn't jive in organizations that didn't value my input. And I for sure didn't know that I would feel completely lost in my mid-30s by trying to express the values that I'd come to know as my core. In 2006, I became the first Black commercial real estate broker for a major firm in Massachusetts. I was making good money, married to a man that I thought was and still think is a wonderful person. I had 2 little adorable boys, vacationed in places I always wanted to go, etc. But my values were not leading. Societal expectations were, and I was completely unfulfilled. We have to consider our values in pursuit of our vision. Otherwise, we end up lost along our journey. It's hard to act when you're lost or stuck. Some of the biggest pitfalls to realizing our vision happen because we've adopted and or applied other people's values as our own, or we've abandoned our own core values in pursuit of our vision. Deviations and hindrances from our plan are often based in the confusion and chaos that come with what I call value confrontations. Value confrontations are literally external or self-created circumstances that go against our core values. They cause us to react in ways that are distracting. Embarking upon your year of action with your core values leading will ensure a journey with little to no regret. A journey of intentional action, and one where you can locate yourself at all times, no matter where you are on your path. Get out of your head, get back to your plan, get on with your vision so you can get into your year of action. Repeat after me. I have to get out of my head. Get back to my plan. Get on with my vision. So I can get into my year of action. Thank you and have a great day. One thing that I was remiss in mentioning, as you're posting, and hopefully you are, the hashtag for today is AMW Conference 18. So please don't forget to tag that in your post. Thank you again.
Thank you, Monica. That was a powerful message,